What Black History Month gives us is the opportunities to tell those stories, that there's no room for people to teach. People have been given the impression that all Africa is now is war and conflict and famine and flood, basically. And it gives us an opportunity to talk about the diversity, the richness of African and Caribbean history told by the people themselves. And I think that is where Black History Month is still needed. Even though obviously the perfect scenario would be it's all year round and everyone does everything, but they don't. So we still need Black History Month. It's really interesting because when you come to Bournemouth and Poole, I came to Bournemouth in the 70s, barely any Black people here really, and you come to this area even now and you think, you know, there can't be any Black history here. And actually it's all around us. Here, we're in a cemetery. Thomas Lewis Johnson is buried just behind me. 120 odd years ago, he came here and he lived here and was thought to be one of Bournemouth's first Black citizens. And before he settled here, he was a missionary. And he was a missionary in the Baptist church. And he had travelled all around Africa preaching, basically. And he picked up an illness there and came to settle back in Bournemouth when he was retired. But even more before that, he had been enslaved in America. And so he started his life as a slave on an American plantation and become free, and then became a missionary, and then settled here in Bournemouth. So this is where he has marked. He died in 1921, and he has been here resting in Bournemouth ever since. And I just want to read you a quick quote of what he said when he came to Bournemouth. "We came to Bournemouth early in November 1893. We were received with great kindness and every attention was shown us. I was very weak and had to be taken out in a bath chair. I was surprised to be saluted by so many who inquired after my health and who wanted to know where I had been." I think general impressions that Thomas Lewis Johnson has given us of his time here in Bournemouth is that he was very well received, and he had a famous phrase called "shake hands, the black won't come off." And he used to display his slave chains and whips. So he talked about that, and he talked about himself, and the impression you can gather, because you can only really gather impressions, was that he was well received. He was very confident talking about his life. He had published his own autobiography in 1909 in Bournemouth,